Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, there I said it. I fucking said it. I like Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, that's not the fucking point. Everybody's talking about Five Nights at Freddy's since the first one came around, and it's gotten to the point where people on YouTube were talking about Five Nights at Freddy's just to get noticed on YouTube, and I didn't really like that sort of thing. Now, granted, a lot of my subscribers, almost like upon like 2, maybe 3,000 of them, subscribed to me because of top 10 ideas for animatronics for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but I didn't know that Five Nights at Freddy's was so much of a popular topic that people would just,
this is Five Nights at Freddy's related, I love you.
But I didn't know it would get me where I am today. But I'm not complaining by all means. I just didn't want to make Five Nights at Freddy's video just because it was a popular topic. But Five Nights at Freddy's has kind of died down a little bit, and Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is kind of released, and many people are already talking about,
what are they gonna make a Five Nights at Freddy's 4? I'm apparently 4 years old, I talk like a 4-year-old.
But I personally think Five Nights at Freddy's is over. I know many people want to say that they somehow got an email from Scott saying, "You said it was over," with a winky face. But why would Scott email a total stranger he doesn't even know, practically giving away that he's making a sequel, how people supposedly found a 4 in a new image using MS Paint, when really that was a JPEG image and a render. There are pixels literally scattered over the place, and I could literally use a similar JPEG image of Mario, and I could get like a number 1. It'd be like, oh my god, they're remaking Mario 1 because of a bunch of clustered pixels. And a bunch of other shit that people say is the reasoning there's going to be a sequel, but I think it's over. So, because Five Nights at Freddy's is over, I want to explain to you the full story of Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, I could be incorrect on a lot of things, and I might get some information wrong, just more based on my own theories from everything I've seen in this series so far, so I apologize if I get anything incorrect. Without further ado, let's begin. Oh, also, I want to apologize about the lighting. Yes, I know it sucks. It's been sucky for the past few days, but I'm trying to find a good setup. Once again, I'm still not used to this apartment, and I only have one lamp. This is the room that has no light, and I have a single lamp that actually is plugged in right now. So, let's just move on ahead to me explaining the Five Nights at Freddy's story. It all started when the Freddy Fazbear Diner first opened its doors, most likely in the early 80s or late 1970s. It was only, well, many people thought it was only 4 animatronics, but really there were a few more. The Marionette was a part of the original show, and Golden Freddy and Spring Bonnie, yes, in the game they call him Spring Bonnie, but outside of the game his name is Spring Trap, they were a part of a show that only used for birthdays. Now I'll explain why I think it's only for birthdays later on. Eventually the murders came around, where 5 children were killed, but the killer was found, but the bodies of the children were never found. And then many people started complaining that blood and mucus were coming out of the animatronics, and one even said that it was starting to smell like a corpse. Eventually, the original diner was closed down, and they reopened it with Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria in 1987, and I'm pretty sure you all know the importance of that date. They didn't throw away all the old animatronics, they kept them and used them for spare parts for the new animatronics. The new animatronics are a bit different, where they have advanced technology where they could see a sexual predator or anyone else like that from a distance and just looking at them. They could see their personal background, being the toy replicas Mangle and Balloon Boy. So why did they go after you? Well, I'll go after that later. The original animatronics went after you because they're trying to find the killer that put them in these animatronic suits for revenge, most likely to either kill them or put them to justice. I'm not entirely sure what they wanted to do with you. I'm assuming kill because they put you in a suit too, which would be kind of ironic, and I'll get back to that too. However, the Golden Freddy and Spring Bonnie suit also returned in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but they just weren't visibly seen, nor were they possessed by any actual animatronics, so they couldn't really go after you. They didn't have the advanced technology, nor did they have souls inside them. Golden Freddy kind of did, where he was the 5th child that was killed. Eventually, in Night 6, you were told that a yellow suit was stolen. Many people assumed this was Golden Freddy, but this was actually Spring Bonnie. And Spring Bonnie actually appears in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 as Shadow Bonnie. That little silhouette. Everyone thought it was Shadow Freddy or Shadow Bonnie, but it was actually a silhouette of Spring Trap, kind of hinting at Five Nights at Freddy's 3 at that point in time. At Night 6, the phone guy says a yellow suit was stolen, which is Spring Trap, and he said there's a birthday coming tomorrow, which would cause Golden Freddy and Spring Bonnie to come out during a show.
Someone used one of the suits We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift.
And Bite of 87 was caused by the killer that was once caught, but most likely escaped from prison and went by a different identity than his original name, and changed his entire look to work at the Freddy Fazbear industry again, just so he could do all the murders all over again. He used the Spring Bonnie suit to perform the Bite of 87. Many people want to say it's Foxy because of that creepypasta, but that was created by fans, and many people said it was Freddy because of the handprints on his suits. But if that were to be the case, well, usually in these kind of situations when big companies that have these kind of characters perform a certain act, they usually retire the character to in respect to that family. It wouldn't be very respectful to the family if they just kept the original animatronic that performed the act. In fact, they would most likely sue. So it was Springtrap, and they put him inside the safe room, which was in the original building. And I'll get back to that later. I'm saying that a lot lately. Because of these incidents and a few other rumors spreading around, they closed down Freddy Fazbear's restaurant, hoping they'll be able to open it in the 1990s, which is where Five Nights at Freddy's 1 took place. Not really much to say there, except there's only 4 animatronics, and maybe the marionette may have been there, but that was just my own personal theory, because maybe he wasn't visibly seen, but maybe he could have still been there. At that same point in time when they reopened the first diner, they blocked off the safe room from everywhere, including security cameras. So it was the only place in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 you couldn't look into. And that was where the Spring Bonnie suit was put for retirement. Nothing really story-based happened here, so we could skip Five Nights at Freddy's 1. But then you're probably thinking, go straight to Five Nights at Freddy's 3? Almost. We head to the mid-1990s, where the entire company shut down. They didn't even tear down the buildings, they just closed everything off. The entire Freddy Fazbear industry was non-existent. The purple guy fell into the deepest depths of insanity, so he boarded himself inside the original closed-down building because he knew that the original souls were still stuck in the animatronics. So to permanently kill them, he tore the animatronics apart, thus the mini-games that were seen after he beat certain nights of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. That was him tearing them apart, which is why in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 you only see pieces of these animatronics, because they were torn apart by Purple Guy. But after all of this, the 4 souls stood in front of him. He was panicking in the safe room. He saw the souls are in front of him. He didn't know what to do. In a blind panic, and after seeing the 5th child, he went inside the Spring Bonnie suit, thinking that maybe that would protect him. Maybe the children would begin to think, but because they were in the animatronics for so long, that it would be normal animatronics, because that's the only thing they know. But these suits can be worn and be used as normal animatronics. They're kind of like hybrid suits. However, Spring Bonnie was the only one you couldn't wear, and it was retired for malfunctioning. However, it can be used as a normal animatronic, which gets me confused as to why they would just retire it just because you couldn't wear it as a suit, even though it can normally function as an animatronic. Which is another reason why I believe Spring Bonnie was the one that performed the Bite of 87. The Purple Man went inside the suit, but because of the safety precautions that he didn't take putting on the suit, it crushed him from the inside, putting him through the same torment that his children went through. And as he's getting down to his knees, bleeding to death, the children's souls just disappear. These souls were set free, the killer was put to justice, and then came Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Someone was obsessed with the ideas of the rumors that went around about the Freddy Fazbear industry, so they opened Freddy's Frights. And then one of the original employers told them about the safe room, where they found the Spring Bonnie suit, or Springtrap. But eventually the industry burnt down. Many people said they saw, if you brighten the image, you'd see Springtrap behind, in a newspaper that says, Freddy's Fright burnt down to the ground. But even if that's true, the story was complete. The original animatronics was set free. Many people say there's going to be another prequel in the original diner where the murders took place at that same point in time, but I don't think so. I think the story is complete, and yes, there are some questions we don't know about, like, who released the Purple Guy? Who performed the Bite of 87? Yes, I said it was Jeremy Fitzgerald and Spring Bonnie, but those are just my theories. What happened at the original diner besides just the murders? But those could be left to fan speculation. We don't need all the questions to be answered. It's like saying Ed, Edd n Eddy should have another season just because we don't know what's under Double D's hat. And the killer may have survived, But this happens in a lot of horror films where they see that the whole killer of the movie survived, and sometimes those movies don't get sequels. I don't think there's going to be another sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and I think that's a good idea. We don't want the idea to get stale, and we don't want it to be overdone, and we don't want Scott to milk series. And plus, that's not the only thing he's known for. He's made other games like Sit and Survive, The Desolate Hope, Chipper and Sons Company, whatever it's called. So why should that be the only thing he makes? The only hope I have for the return of Five Nights at Freddy's is if he releases all 3 games in a triple collection, or he decides to release Five Nights at Freddy's on consoles, most likely PS4 and Xbox One, which I kind of find doubtful, but, you know, maybe he's going to put them all in a 3-way collection, but this is the only hope to see more Five Nights at Freddy's. And that last image we saw of Freddy's hats, well, it was a little message. At any theater show, at the end of it, the master of the show gets on stage, bows, and takes off his hat. And that image is only the hat. Five Nights at Freddy's is over, and I know many people want to claim that it's still going to keep going, but the story's complete, so we don't want the series to be milked. We don't want to become like the next Call of Duty. So, honestly, I think Five Nights at Freddy's had its run, and it was a great series to follow. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. I really do enjoy it myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, maybe favorite, and subscribe if you want to see some more. I make videos almost every day. And remember, we all see fish in the ceiling at least once in our lives.